pledge and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. A reminder that we are streaming on our YouTube channel, so we are being recorded. We are missing 3 members of council this evening, but we have a quorum, so we'll move forward. First item of business is approval of the May 23, 2023 minutes.
I move that we approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Phyllis. All those in favor of approving the May 23rd, 2023 minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. All right. All right, we also have the June 27th, 2023 minutes.
I move that we approve June 27th.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Phyllis. All those in favor of approving the June 27th, 2023 minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Thanks very much. Next up, citizens' requests or concerns. Would anyone like to address the council? All right. We'll move right on to reports from boards, committees, and commissions and kick it off with the Civil Service Commission report.
Hi, Ken Egger, representing Civil Service Board. With Detective Sergeant Scott's overall testing score and him meeting all the requirements, it's the Civil Service Board's, we voted unanimously to recommend him be promoted to lieutenant. We ask the council to do so.
All right. Thank you. We would look for a motion.
I move that we do that.
All right.
Second.
All right. All those in favor of the appointment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Congratulations.
And for the last time, Sergeant Scott, please step forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor at this point. We have an officer who's been with us for 22 years. He's trained a lot of our officers in the field, and he has made a great impact with all officers in our community. And we want to thank you very much for your service, and it was my honor to promote you to the level of lieutenant.
And with that, I will present him with his lieutenant badge and bars. Congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Ken, was there any other business from the?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to some items under the Finance Advisory Committee.
Let's not forget B-Rock.
It's not on the agenda, but please.
Okay.
Make your report.
A meeting was scheduled for Thursday, September 7th at the Millersville station. The financial reports for August were gone over in detail. Dwayne met with a local entity about the possible purchase of land for the station, and several names were provided for other contractors to bid on the project. And concept drawings will be sent, and Dwayne will meet with them for an overview of the project. The building will be approximately $4.2 million and will not be completely finished inside. And Dwayne is to get more information about pricing for the approximate 4 acres that we're looking at. And a $2,900 FEMA grant for recruitment was received. So what they're doing is the fire department is planning to consolidate into one location, and the 4 acres that they're looking at is off Blue Rock Road.
Thank you. All right. Now we'll move on to the Finance Advisory Committee, and I think these 3 items Andy, you can probably lead us.
Well, the first one would be for your MMO, and basically it has to be in this, at the end of this week, by the 29th. And you basically have two options for the police pension as well as a non-uniform pension. They are recommending, the options are on lines 9 and 10. They are recommending the line 10 option that's based on the market value of the assets. You need the numbers or?
I think, yeah, if you could provide the numbers.
Okay, so the one for police pension, the minimum municipal obligation for a 9/9, which would be based on the smoothing, is $527,422. And then line 10 would be the municipal obligation based on market value of the assets is $651,381. And then for non-uniform, the line 9 obligation is $171,725. Line 10 is $225,743. So council has to make a decision which one they're going to go with. It's recommended through them to
Contribute the higher amount.
go with line 10.
Yeah. Are there questions from council? We typically do this every year. And we do typically follow the guidance of our advisors, right?
Yes. Well, actually, last year, I looked at, there was no option. It was just a line 9, but the way things are this year, they actually had a line 10. If you read the letter, basically, that they strongly recommend that you go above the minimum.
You're looking for a motion to support?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we use the line 10 as suggested model
For both? For
for
both.
both, yeah.
Second. Okay, thank you. Motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? Yes. Yes. All right, all those in favor of funding our MMO obligation using the line 10 numbers for both policies signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right.
You want to take the next one?
Sure.
Okay, so consider approving the agreement between URDC to prepare draft town center zoning amendment and also revise the Saddle ordinance and street and road ordinance. It's quite a lengthy sheet. It spells out how it's going to happen, timeframes, their past history with it, and that is for $16,000.
And I believe we had already discussed moving forward with this item, so this is just approving the official agreement. These were items that were pointed out in our comprehensive plan to be addressed.
I will move that we proceed with this agreement.
And I'll second. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Linda. Questions? All right. All those in favor of approving the agreement with URDC for $16,000 signify by saying aye. Aye.
Okay, moving on, the Kettle Law Group has a proposal for us for, it would be a right-of-way management ordinance, and this is actually through, they'll be working through the LIMC. It's mainly for the upcoming broadband. They're going to be dumping a ton of money into the broadband, and most of the municipalities really aren't set up for it at this point, and they're already having problems with those. Certain companies not getting permits, not asking permission. So they're going to do a draft ordinance basically for everybody in the LIMC. Then we could, if we want to make changes, we can tweak it before, it's obviously passed. But they're doing it through them. If there's 5 or more LIMC members, there's a 20% discount. The cost will be $3,840, and if there's less than 5, the cost will be $4,800. And this is something we discussed before as well.
You talked about this.
Yeah,
Yes.
and for those in attendance, this is one of the benefits of participating in the local intermunicipal committee, is that when there's issues that affect more than just your municipality, you can pull your resources.
If I'm not mistaken, we did approve this before, is that not correct? Approved that we were going to go with this.
They asked before that if we were, if they wanted to know if we had an interest in it, and then that's what it came to council, and we were, and then they would say they would get us a quote. Basically where we're at.
Do we have any idea how many other?
I did not, I was gonna try to go home today, I got sidetracked with some other stuff I was doing, and I can try to find out, but I would imagine there's gonna be 5 or more with the LIMC.
Yeah, there was a lot of interest and support, so I think it'll be the lower number. So I would look for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, as stated.
Don't you have to rehash it?
That's as stated. As stated.
All right,
Second.
we're just moving right along. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the Cohen Law Group draft right-of-way management ordinance for LIMC members signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. All right, Linda, Public Welfare, Public Works.
Okay, update on trash and recycling, Sue.
I don't want to have my back.
Anyone?
We were hoping to have a response from Penn Waste regarding our extension for a request for next year. They did not have it ready for tonight's meeting, so I'm not quite sure how to read that. But they have to have the response to us by Friday. That is their 30-day deadline. The options would be: 1, they extend our contract. 2, they extend our contract and they offer us a price for toter service, which we can review. And 3, we go out to bid for a new contract. So as soon as I hear something, I will let council know, and then we'll be back later to discuss and make a decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, the next thing is codes report, and when I looked at it mid-month, it was, we only had like 5, and Rob, you said that more had come in at that time.
Permits?
Permits, yes.
Yeah, probably about 3 more, 4 more
Okay,
on top of this.
so it's kind of, this month we're doing a little bit less than we normally do, I think, for permits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, everything is going smoothly as far as that report, and so when I reported to Public Works, it was a little less permits, I thought, this month. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about the codes?
No.
No? Okay. All right, the next one is to approve the Girls on the Run 5K, and that is out of committee.
All right, and that's to approve their use of the public streets for
Yes,
their
they
run.
gave us
The route for the run.
they gave
We
us
had
the
a
route.
question whether we needed to do this in council or not. Do we do need to do this in council?
We typically do.
Okay. So it's out of committee.
It is out of committee. Do you have the date on when that is?
Yeah, the date is November 19th at 3 p.m.
All right, we don't need a second. Are there any questions? All right, all those in favor of approving the Girls on the Run 5K route, November 19th at 3 p.m., signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
Okay, consider approving the contract extension for the 23-24 snow plowing, and that's also out of committee.
So this is a one-year extension to our
It is.
existing contract.
And it's $115 per truck and driver.
Questions? Discussion? All right. All those in favor of approving the contract extension for 2023 to 2024 with Keenan LLC signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
The next thing up is the tree ordinance discussion, and I know that, it has been prepared, so Rob has prepared it. I think what he needs to do is to give it to you, so you can give it to Joselle. But he has it all written how he'd like to see it, now it needs to go to Joselle. And he has copies if everyone's interested. I think I gave him copies today. Did you bring them? And that is exactly how he'd like to see it with changes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And the only thing I can say, there doesn't need a motion to go to Joselle, does
No,
it?
no.
Okay, we're good there then.
Once we have information from her on if or how things need to be changed within
Yes.
our code, then we would take action.
Okay, the next thing is Airbnb, and I didn't realize it's B&B. I thought it was B and B, but it's B&B. Isn't that interesting? I thought. Anyway, Rob and I are working on that right now. So we were working on it this afternoon, and we'll be continuing to work on it. The zoning permit fees and rental permit fees discussion. And this one is out of committee. Did you want to address that, or you want me to talk about it?
Whatever.
Okay, well, on the zoning permit fees, on both the zoning and the rental permit fees, it was stated from Rob that he'd like to increase the permit fee. For the zoning permit fee, it would be from $25 for the first 10,000 to $100. And the rental permit fees would be from $75 with $50 for 20 or more units. And he wants to go to 100 on that also. And why don't you tell everyone why you have decided that?
For the zoning permit fees,
Yes.
we're taking too much time to review the folders, just getting out there, talking with the people. And there's 2 inspections required for every zoning permit. We're just losing money.
We are losing money on that for sure. So this would address that.
So those both came out of committee, which meant that the Public Works Committee agreed on the increase.
Any discussion? All right. Do you want to restate the motion with the fees?
To restate the motion was that they will be increasing fees for both the zoning permit and the rental permit fees, as stated.
And the zoning permit fees will be moving to $100.
Yes.
And the rental fees
Yes.
will be moving to $50.
Yeah, and the permit fees will be moving from 75 to 100 also.
Well, I think the rental permit fees are $70 right now.
Oh.
For 20 or less, and then the 20 or more are down to $50. I wanted to bring the 20 more up to 75, and 20 less to 100.
Okay.
And that's to cover our certified mail, everything we're sending out, the admin time, and our form supplies, and then certified mail is right around $8 to send out each letter.
Okay. So all those in favor of making the changes to the zoning permit fees from $25 to $100 and rental permit fees for 20 or less from 75 to 100 and 20 or more up to $75 per, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right.
Okay. The next is sewer plant budget adjustment for the HVAC replacement.
Yes, we had an unexpected, we had to replace our HVAC down there at the plant in the admin building. I'd like to take that out of capital, out of the Fund 38429-731, which is building improvements to the wastewater treatment plant, because that can then be paid for 24% by the university, because that was an equipment replacement basically. And if we keep the deal on them, we're not gonna get any money from them for it. So basically, I'm asking for, the cost was $13,948 to put $14,000 into that account, so it can be taken out of there for this year.
And that came out of committee.
Okay. Can you repeat the,
The account number
yeah,
is 38429-731, and it's called Building Improvements to WWTP. We had nothing in there for this year because we weren't planning on doing anything, so
okay.
I'm just asking for a transfer of funds into that account.
So the motion is a transfer of $14,000 to account 38429-731.
Correct.
All right, questions? All right, all those in favor of the budget adjustment as stated signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, all right, thank you.
South Duke Street project update.
So I was out on the site this morning, and I met with Dolly Construction as well as Rob Wisniewski, our engineer, and they were hoping to finish up concrete this week, and of course it's raining all week, so they did get a decent amount of it done, but they were hoping to have it all done this week, but some of that is going to definitely roll into next week. So then next week they're going to mobilize their paving crew, and they have to put some under drains in, and then they're going to start getting everything graded up and base coursing the roads in. By the week of the 9th, they're going to finish up hopefully all the paving, for the exception of where the Verizon pole is. It's going to be our troublemaker for the project. It's going to be quite a while till Verizon gets that pole moved. But so the plan is we need that little stub of Frederick Street for our detour for homecoming weekend in the parade. That the plan is to make sure that stub is paved, and then we plan on opening it up temporarily for just a detour during the parade, and then probably an hour or two after the parade, and then it'll be shut down the way it currently is. Moving forward, then from there, we're still getting prices. We have to move some retaining walls for some site distance issues, and we just got to get some final tree removal and things like that that are going to keep the road closed. We are going to try to ask PennDOT if we can open it once we get everything paved and we get all of our side work done with these walls, which might take a little bit. So the problem's going to be that pole. If you look at that intersection right in the corner at 2 South Duke, there's a pole that's going to be on the corner of the road. Verizon's not going to be able to move it anytime soon. We've been working with them for quite a while trying to get it moved, and we've had this problem before. Which phase was it, Les? Was it 2 or 1?
Yeah.
One that took them a year and a half to move the poles. But we are trying desperately to get that. We're hoping that even if we can't, the pole's not going to be moved once we get everything else done except for the pole. We're hoping PennDOT will let us open the road, but ultimately it's their call, not ours. So, hopefully we can talk them into it and we can get that thing open sooner than later. But that's really not going to be in our hands. It's not our road. We don't control the detours, and hopefully we can get it done. But as far as construction goes, everything seemed to go pretty well. I mean, we ran into some early issues with Verizon duct banks that changed our stormwater and put us back a week or two. But for the most part, most of the construction, we're still on our schedule. It's just going to be some of the wrap-up work that afterwards that we're not sure about at this point.
Please tell me this amount of rain is not usual. Is it unusual, or do we usually have 5 days of rain?
Well, I mean, that's just, you never know what the weather's going to be. But it could be worse. It could be the downpour we had 2 weeks ago that we had issues with the other development with runoff and stuff. And when you get 2-3 inches of rain in a day, I don't care where you're at, you're going to have some flooding to deal with, and we did. And of course, then it's salt dirt, and they actually dealt with it well on that job site as well. But if anybody got any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We don't have anything for the Personnel Advisory Committee, and so the mayor is up.
Thank you very much. Don't really have that much before I turn over to Chief, but just want to remind everybody that this Saturday, I believe it's 11 to 3, is Millersville Business Association Day in the Park. So for all those here in the room and those listening, please come out to the Freedom Memorial Park and support your local businesses.
And we will be there also, police department.
Great.
All right, let me give you our police department activities summary for the month of August. We answered 370 calls for service. We had 5 ordinance complaints. 2 were disorderly conduct, 3 were open alcohol, which resulted in 5 ordinance citations and 2 disruptive conduct reports issued. We had 14 criminal arrests, and all 14 were adults. Part 1 offenses, we had 5, cleared 2 for 40% clearance on Part 1. Part 2, we had 34 and cleared 29 for an 85% clearance. Now, the next one, total traffic violations. Should catch somebody's eye if anyone that really listens to me, which I think people do, but 65 traffic violations, and that's about a triple above what we've been showing lately, and that's all due to our enforcement down at that detour at South Duke Street. Because our guys have spent a lot of time down there, and you literally could stay there all day long. We obviously can't do that, but that's a chore down there, and as Andy's saying, the sooner we can get that open back up, the better. So only 2 of those traffic violations were speeding, 9 vehicle accidents, 35 parking tickets, and patrolled about 3,500 miles. Detective cases, more involved cases. We did also pick up a few more cases. Unfortunately, these sex offenses are plaguing us right now. We picked up 2 new sex offenses and a burglary, which Detective Lieutenant is how it will be moving forward. Detective Lieutenant and myself will continue to work on those cases. That's all I got.
Thank you. We'll move on to Millersville University if you're done.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrew. Good to be back. We're really excited for our homecoming parade coming up, as well as our football game that weekend, weekend of the 14th, as well as our block party. And speaking of football, we had a historic win recently, and it's honestly restoring my faith in our football team. We beat Westchester 23-14 for the first time since 2002.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. This Wednesday is our wellness day, where students are going to be meeting with a bunch of different organizations to talk about wellness, including mental health, physical wellness, academic wellness, what have you. We had our Day of Caring not too long ago, where we had over 250 students participate at Grace Church and Home Fields, which was a terrific turnout. And for a banners update, we're looking at the future of what we're going to do with them, changing them for the seasons, but also we're thinking about increasing the size of the font on the banners, because it's a little hard to read Millersville Borough, Millersville University on them. So we're looking into changing that. And then lastly, it's hard for me to say this, but unfortunately, on September 22nd, early in the morning, a student of Millersville University, Thea Cassidy, an undergrad student from Ephrata, died unexpectedly that morning on campus. And the campus is in mourning over it. If you could please keep the family and friends in thoughts and prayers, we'd really appreciate it. That's my report.
Thank you, Andrew. I do have an update from Penn Manor regarding our Penn Manor student representatives. I heard from the principal just yesterday that he put forth 2 candidates, and we asked if we could take both, and he said yes. So we will have a 11th grader and a 12th grader join us hopefully at our next council meeting, and I'll have them introduce themselves, and they will be participating for the rest of their Penn Manor career, hopefully. So that's great news. I have nothing else to share for my president's report, and I don't believe we have any unfinished business. At this point, I would look for a motion to move into executive session where we will be discussing personnel, hiring.
Second.
All right, Chris and Phyllis with the second. All those in favor of moving into executive session signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, all right. There will be no action taken during the meeting or after the meeting. So at this time, I would welcome council members and Andy to remain in council chambers to discuss personnel.
Thanks, sir.
2 high school students.
Yep.
Nice.
How did that happen? Did you just make a phone call? Because the guy told me nothing. I mean, I counted him. I said I'd come in.
There was a change in principals at some point.